Hello. Oh, oh, one sec. Let me adjust my boom arm. It's always so loud. I'm sorry. Hi, how's it going? How's it going? Happy Friday, welcome, hello, welcome. I'm so happy it's Friday. I'm really excited. It's the long weekend, so we get 3 days off instead of 2, and we are redoing our entire backyard fence this weekend. Like, literally starting after I'm done streaming tonight, like in 3 or 4 hours, we are immediately going outside and demolishing everything. So I am wearing my construction clothes. I'm in my DIY Angora does the yard work stuff with my hat and everything. I was like, usually on my Friday streams I get a little bit dressed up and kind of go a little bit fancy or like work profesh and try to look cute and stuff. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna come into it like I'm gonna come into it just ready to leave here and jump into that. So I'm stoked. It's exciting. It's been like kind of being planned in the background for like 2 weeks now. There's so much that goes into like ordering and getting everything ready to redo a whole fence. And we have a corner lot, so our house only shares a fence with one neighbor, and then the other 3 sides are ours to do whatever we want. And because we have a corner lot, we also have a really large lot, so there's a lot of fence happening. And the like etiquette for like redoing fences typically when you have a neighbor on 2 sides is that you talk to each neighbor and then you split the costs of the fence down the middle with whoever's on that side, and then that kind of helps make it a little bit more affordable. But because we only have a neighbor on one side, we've had to do all of the other sides ourselves. And that's why we bought this house in 2021. It's been 2 years, and we knew that the fence needed to be done really bad when we bought it, but because we had like so much of it, we've held off until we could save enough, and now we're finally ready and it's here this weekend. So I've been documenting this whole process. Oh my gosh. Hello, my name's Angora Builds. I'm an architectural technologist based out of Western Canada, and I model buildings in 3D for a living. On this channel, we talk about design and like design theory. I 3D model, like we're doing the whole spiel. Okay, I'm gonna finish my thought about my yard work story, and then we'll get into what we're actually gonna do today on this stream and what I like to do on my channel. But I've been documenting our yard like restoration entirely from start to finish. I have 3D modeled our house and our front yard and the landscaping design that we're going to do and stuff. And I think this year we're going to focus on our front yard, and next year we're going to try and do all of the backyard. So except for obviously the fence, which is like we have our camper van is stored in the back. And we have an RV gate that is literally like, it's not opening anymore. It is so rotted and falling apart. Like the previous owners when we bought this house had like a huge 25-foot long trailer, fifth wheel trailer. And I don't know how often they actually ended up taking it out, because our van, we use it all the time. And in February, we tried to open the gate to put the roof rack for our solar panels on, and it literally just like the whole bottom rail just like broke off, and we haven't been able to get our van out of the backyard because the gate's broken, which also helped spur this whole project. So I've been documenting it from the very beginning, because again, I 3D modeled everything and did all of the design digitally via Revit in my computer, and it's really cool to see how that manifests in real life in the construction phase in an actual project, because you can plan as well as you want in 3D and it's not gonna get executed like you want. There's gonna be hiccups, there's gonna be curveballs, things you didn't expect that arise, and we've already seen this with our yard. I can even show you, oh my gosh, let me pull up, I made a post on Reddit yesterday just because I was literally like, ripped down the wall of we have a garden, a vegetable garden that is kind of, it's like on one side of our front yard, because we're on a corner lot, it's like on the side of our house. And I didn't realize, like, I always kind of knew that it had this like little retaining wall thing, but when we ripped it off, I didn't realize how like big the retaining wall was. And so here, let me show you. I made a post on Reddit asking the DIY subreddit what they'd recommend with this, because you can see here, after we're trying to reuse the posts for our fence, and like they're in good shape, so that's great. But the retaining wall between them is completely, like, it's also gonna just like explode and crumble apart at any minute. This wood is so rotted, it's just like barely holding on. You can see here it's already broken off at parts, and it's kind of challenging because the posts are in really good shape, but this wood, it's like how they fastened it to the posts, they fastened it like on the garden side in between the dirt and the post, and so now we have to dig all of this out to access this side, and I've been frantically trying to figure out how to replace this retaining wall with something a little bit more permanent. And so what we decided, I'm actually really excited about this, we decided to go with a corrugated metal retaining wall, which is like this, because I think in terms of longevity, if we do the metal on the garden wall side, it will act as like a separation between the lumber and like the dirt and all the water and the elements and stuff. So I think it looks a lot cleaner. I looked into doing brick or stone, which is probably like the proper way to do it, the most advised way to do a retaining wall, but it was so expensive. It was like, for our tiny 1 foot high retaining wall to go on two sides, because it's on this whole side, and then we have another side of our garden back here, and it was like $800 Canadian or something like that, just for the stones and the brick, not to account for any of the actual, like, you'd need like sand or like gravel to like help level everything, and we'd probably want, especially for the top bricks, some kind of construction or like landscaping adhesive to hold it all into place. And it just, on top of like $800 on its own is a hefty price tag, and everything else just like kept tallying up. So I think what we're going to do, because we're gonna have so many like boards and like 4x4s, like older ones, to salvage that are in really good shape, but we're just replacing them. I think we're gonna combo the corrugated metal with some older pieces of 4x4 that we're just gonna sand down and refinish, either like restain or repaint or something. And I think it'll look really clean. Like, we're going for, I posted on Twitter actually what our front yard restoration is gonna look like. And if you're curious to get a better photo, I have it here. This is it 3D rendered. And this is the front yard. You can kind of see the garden wall on the side, on the right side here. We're gonna do like a horizontal fence with like some larger gaps between the slats, so that, because it's a vegetable garden, we want to make sure that the sun can actually get in. Because what was happening, we don't have the gaps we have in this garden wall. It's just like very tight fence boards the whole way down, and everything that is closer to the fence side, because this is the fence, like our house faces south, so everything that was right up to the fence wasn't really getting enough sun. Like, it was getting no sun at all throughout the day. So we're gonna fix that. And I think it'll look really nice. And we're gonna kind of go for like this sort of cedar, we're staining our red brick right now, it's red. We're gonna stain it to a charcoal, and then we're gonna do like cedar kind of accenting around with raised planter beds and the shutters on the windows. We have shutters on the windows right now, but they're this terrible white. Like, they're like white shutters with little hearts cut out in the middle. So, and then we'll do some kind of colored door here. And I don't know if this will be the actual color, if we'll do orange, or I think like a yellow could look really nice. And then we'll just do a bunch of native landscaping, especially on this side with the pine trees where it doesn't grow. So I'm really excited about this project. It's super exciting when you actually start putting the ball in motion to get it all done. So, and I think like going with this theme here too, and like we're kind of doing a little bit of a more modernized feel with the horizontal slat. Like I think the corrugated metal along the garden wall is a retaining wall. You'd only see it on the passenger or the public facing side when you're on the sidewalk walking past our house. But I think it'll just be a little nice kind of modern detail. So, and it's quite a bit more affordable than any of the landscaping brick. So I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be a challenge. I have said before, I'll say it again, I'm an architectural technologist, and so I'm more familiar with the built environment, houses, buildings, 90-degree angles. When we get into landscaping, it's a whole different ball game, to be honest, and it kind of stresses me out a little bit, like things like grading and ensuring that you have enough drainage for like water flow and stuff like that. So I'm even with this corrugated metal retaining wall, there's the word. I'm a little nervous just about ensuring that there is adequate draining at the base, so we might have to think about doing some kind of like I'm not sure what we'll have to, I mean, I guess like the water will just go down ideally. So I don't know if there's anything I need to take into account, if we should do even some kind of like drainage, like drill some drainage holes or something periodically. I'm not too sure. We'll think about it. But so I'm starting that project today in 3 hours. I cannot stay past 6. Hard stop at 6. So we'll get into it. Okay. Last time, what did we do last time? Last time we sketched some floor plans. And I will confess, last Friday, it was a long stream. I think it was almost 5 hours. And that was the first time in my short duration of streaming that I knew that I was mentally tapped out and not really in the best headspace to keep going because I was drained. But because we were so close to actually starting to sketch floor plans for our tiny house, I was like, I need to keep going. I want to keep going and get this started. And then I was watching the VOD afterwards and I was like, you know, we probably should have just called it after all the tours. And then I've been reflecting on it and thinking about it since then. And I'm like, there's so many other things I want to like actually just weigh and take into account before we throw it into 3D and start modeling it. So, without further ado, I'm gonna start all over again. We're gonna do the spiel. My name's Angora Builds. I'm an architectural technologist based out of Western Canada, and I model buildings in 3D for a living. On this channel, we do what I like to call my Design With Me series, where we work through different fictitious projects from start to finish as I would do it in the professional world. So my area of expertise, or where I focus on, is primarily commercial offices, commercial office architecture, commercial office interior design. I am not a designer by background. I am a technologist, so I focus more on the actual 3D modeling side of things and coordinating between consultants, engineers, my team, and so I don't have as much creative flex in my actual career, hence why I started this channel. I love design. I think design's fun. I love talking about design theory and practical design, efficient design. So we've been working through, as of 2 streams ago now, I guess 2 Fridays, every Friday we continue on this project, and right now we're working through the design of a tiny house. We've already talked about some of like the pre-design, which is the first phase, and we actually kind of decided for this tiny house that we're gonna not really concern ourselves with any like pre-design constraints. which could be like the size of the trailer that we're using or the site that we're on or whatever. Like, we're just gonna do whatever the heck we want. And based on what we come up with in our schematic design phase, which is where we're at now, then we can talk about the sizing of the trailer and some of those like more practical constraints that we might have, and then hopefully just like hone in the design that we come up with and the floor plan based on some things we might find. So we are working through right now the design, like the floor plan design of our tiny house. And I'm hoping today we're gonna just go through a few options, or like create a few options, see what sticks. The nice thing about the schematic design phase is that it's not really like it's schematic. It's kind of like we're just gonna throw a bunch of shit to the wall, see what sticks, and kind of decide the pros and the cons of everything from there. So we have a few bubble sketches that we started last Friday. Actually, here, I'm gonna get my iPad powered up and connected for sharing on the screen. Yeah, so we started with what I I guess I would call bubble design, where you basically just do general area circles for like what is the kitchen, what is the living room. And then now we have some bubble designs that I think we like. We picked 4 options. We did 4 sketches last time. Oh, I don't have my screencasting software powered up. There we go. So while this thinks, we came out with 4 different bubble design options. But and I'll pull those up and I'll talk about those in a sec, because I looked at them and I was reflecting on them after stream, and we might want to do just a little bit of tweaking. Or at least, like, honestly, I'm not even opposed to adding like 1 or 2 more bubble designs. The nice thing about modeling in 3D, once we get to that phase, is that it is very quick and very easy to manipulate. You can just kind of push and pull some stuff, or like shrink or whatever. So let me, here, I have this connected here. I like my rose gold iPad. Let's bring this over. Here we go. Oh, whoops. Oh, I'm pulling my, there we go. I accidentally pulled my organization of my scenes on OBS in the wrong order. I like them in a certain way. They're familiar in a certain way. Actually, let's jump over before I get into explaining this too much. I want to switch over to my art category. So I would say that's probably more in line with what we're doing. Here we go. Okay. I also, you can laugh at this with me, I needed one of those like iPad artist gloves really bad, because if you've hung around on my stream before, you will know that I have a tendency to just like accidentally like erase things, undo things, switch the page. So instead of giving my money to Amazon, because I've been internally conflicted about this. I don't like giving my money to Amazon or any really major corporations for that matter. If I can get something that is manufactured locally or from a small business, I'm much more partial to doing that. If I have to buy something new, usually I thrift. So I'm testing today. I found some gloves and I cut the fingers off, and let's see if this works as a iPad artist glove for this stream, and hopefully it'll help decrease the amount of like accidental errors and stuff that kept happening in the past. So let's go over these. I believe we did 3 or 4 of these bubble plans, and then immediately I was like, let's just take them into Revit and figure it out. And in hindsight, I'm like, no, I was jumping the gun. That was me being too quick. Okay, yeah, we have 3 of them here. And I got this first one backwards. These should actually be swapped. Okay. So what we decided, based on our research of tiny house trailers, and we are designing this tiny house to go on a trailer because most municipalities or jurisdictions will not let you build a house this small. This is the workaround, hence the trailer. They're typically sold in 2-foot increments. 28 feet long is the average length of a tiny house trailer that I've seen in videos. We did some inspo research last time too, so if you look back in the older VODs, you'll see we watched some house tours and stuff. 28 feet long seems to be the typical, but it'll go as high as 36 feet long or as low as, I think, even 16 feet short, which is way too short. We're not doing a 16-foot tiny house. But these bubble plans were done with a 28-foot trailer underlaid. Like, that's kind of what this rectangle below it represents. However, we decided that if we need more space, if these plans that we have sketched when we get them into 3D aren't working, we can bump out and go as long as we need to, up to 36 feet. To make the plan feel good and to make it work. Now, I'm a little nervous about going as large as 36 feet because then we're starting to get into professional towing territory. Because I think up until a certain point, like up until a certain length, I think you can tow a tiny house trailer with just like a large pickup truck, like one of those big beefy trucks, like a Chevy or a Dodge or something. Like it'll handle it. But when you get past a certain weight capacity, then you basically need a semi or just like a huge towing truck of some kind in order to handle the weight of it. So I'd like to try and avoid going that large. Like, it would be nice to have a tiny house small enough that if we decided to move it, because I don't know, like, here's an example. Actually, the forest fires right now in Western Canada are really bad, and there is, especially northern BC and northern Alberta, a ton of evacuation orders for people that live there. How nice would it be, or like, if like, yeah, how nice would it be if you could literally just hitch your house up to your truck and take it with you in a circumstance like that? I think about that a lot, especially because we do want to move more interior BC, where forest fires have been a prominent issue pretty frequently lately. So I think about that. I'm like, it would be nice. It would be nice to take my house with me. So we'll see what we decide. Now, the funny thing about these bubble plans, especially in the context of a tiny house, like if you're doing a bubble plan for a regular floor, like a regular house where you don't really have any kind of constraints, they can kind of end up all over the place. Like you can get some like cool shapes, and then that's when you will like kind of configure the outside shape of your house from that. Like, and then you get like really fun floor plans to work with. What I'm realizing with the tiny house design is you're kind of confined laterally. Like you can kind of, like everything's kind of just like in a row. And that, in hindsight, after thinking about all of our tours that we've watched together and stuff, that seems to be very common. Where we have a little bit of variation, I guess, if we're looking at the tiny house from a elevation view or like a section view, and like this is the floor down here and this is the roof here and there's the loft, you can kind of play around with like how things are stacked and like what level the room or amenity is that you need is on. So if we think about it that way and we're looking at where are we locating our bathroom, for example. And actually, let's go back to our our list of needs or items that we want within our house. We did this again on a previous stream. I believe this was 2 weeks ago. Basically just went through and listed everything that we want included in the tiny house and that we have to incorporate into the design, but we did it using a tier system. So everything in tier 1 is mandatory. We have to get this tier in. But everything in tier 2, if we can't make it work and we can figure it out in another way, that's fine. It's not a big deal. No sweat. So looking at this list, for example, like the living room, I think we could do a living room in a tiny house, either on the main or the second floor. Like it could go on either or. The second story in tiny houses are usually lofts. They're more of a loft space. So I don't think it's that big of a deal if you're in a living room but you can't stand up in it fully. Generally, you're just like hanging out on the sofa, watching a movie, reading a book. You can kind of just like crawl in there and get cozy. It's more of like a decompression space, I would say. So I wanted to take a second before we get back into our bubble plans to just really talk about where in the house each of these spaces or rooms would be best suited. Like another example being the kitchen, that absolutely needs to go on the main floor. There is no way we're doing a loft kitchen. You need that full height, it matters. So let's just go through each one quick and note that it can be on either the main floor or in the loft, and then we'll talk about how that translates to the bubble plans that we created last time, if that's cool with everyone. I will jump over here one sec. Sometimes I hum and I haw about my tags that I'm using. There we go. I got rid of the Revit one because I don't think we're gonna be doing that quite yet. Actually, we're not really 3D modeling quite yet either. We'll just do design. There we go. Okay, we'll hang out here for a minute. All right, so yeah, I guess our living room could go on the main floor or the loft. Outerwear storage definitely will go on the main floor. In our bedrooms. Now, you could do a bedroom in a tiny house, either on the main floor or in the loft. I've seen both. I'm definitely more partial to it in the loft, just because, again, it's not really a space that, like, you need to stand up and maneuver around, especially if you design... Let's reflect for a moment on what needs you have from a bedroom. It is your place for sleeping, or it can be, I guess, your place for changing. Like, there's often clothing storage in bedrooms, hence why I guess we kind of listed them in tandem here, side by side. The clothing storage does not have to go in the bedroom, though. Especially in a tiny house situation. I've seen some tiny house tours where they have the clothing storage in the bathroom on the main level, and I actually really like that. I really like this concept of your clothing being in the room where you actually spend the most time getting ready, or like getting ready either for your day or getting ready for bed. You're already doing all of that there. So I like the idea of having that in one place, and then your laundry can go in there too. And then it's all kind of close together, and then your bedroom just becomes your tranquil space for sleeping or maybe reading. Maybe you put a TV in your bedroom and that's where you watch your movies before you go to bed. I'm not a huge fan of the TV in the bedroom thing, just psychologically. I think there's some studies about it not being the best for you and your circadian rhythm. However, I'm wondering, I guess, for design purposes here, if we want to say we could do a main floor bedroom, or if we should just strictly keep it in the loft. I kind of think loft bedrooms in tiny houses just feel cozier. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the main floor bedroom. In a tiny house, at least. I think that the headroom is a hot commodity. There's only so many spaces that you can fit on the main level, and I think I'm gonna put the bed as a loft only, I think. Now, clothing storage. This is my opinion. From a practical perspective, again, I would rather have my clothing storage in a space that is full height where I can actually like walk around and change comfortably. I've seen a lot of tiny house tours where they put the clothing storage in the bedroom, in the loft, and then you have to kind of go on your hands and knees to ruffle through when you want a new outfit for the day. You also don't have enough headroom in a loft to comfortably change, I don't think. It's a little squished to try and get changed on your bed. I mean, I guess you can do it, but I think it's faster if you have full standing height and can maneuver as you please. And I think from a laundry perspective, I think that it would be much easier to not have to hike all of your clean clothes into a squished height loft in order to put them away. When you're putting them away, you're on your knees basically shuffling around. I think I'd rather this just be on the main floor in a full height space. So I'm gonna note that. My janky iPad glove is working great. I'm so glad I did this. It's like $3 gloves from Walmart that I purchased like 10 years ago. It's the perfect way to repurpose them. Okay, our kitchen is definitely going on the main floor. That's like a no questions asked. The bathroom. We did see a tiny house design that had a second story bathroom, and below it went the kids' room, which didn't require full height. Now, do I like this? Not really. Not really. I think it's a lot of effort and like a lot of finagling from a constructability perspective to make something work, but what is the payoff? Is it worth it that much? I'm just gonna say main floor for the bathroom too. And same with laundry. There's no way laundry is going in a loft. Now, system storage. I don't even necessarily want to, like, I'm actually most partial to having system storage on the exterior of the house somehow, like in like a shed or something. So it's not even like in the design. Like there's often space in front of what is called I think it's called the tongue of a trailer. Here, let me show you. I'm just gonna search for tiny house. We'll see if we see one in our images. I found one last time pretty quickly when I was looking for an example of this, where the trailer hitch turns into a V at the front of the tiny house. Is kind of dead space, and I've seen a lot of tiny house designs. I wonder if I have to put on trailer here. I've seen quite a few designs that will take that extra space. Like here's an example, kind of. I think this is a bay window on the inside, but this is what I'm talking about. This like space above the hitch or the tongue. I actually really like the idea of putting the system storage there. Oh, hey Loto, how's it going? Welcome. But it is kind of nice to utilize, like, to have it. There was this other tiny house design. Like, I'm not opposed to the, like, kind of bay window or kitchen bump out above that space. But I think, like, if you do it right, you can maybe kind of have both. Maybe. So, yeah, here's an example where it's like, I don't know if this is, we didn't look at the tour of this one, unfortunately, so I don't know if this is their kitchen, if this is their living room, I'm not too sure. But then I guess that takes us back to this. With our system storage, our solar plumbing and HVAC systems, and I don't think you need, like, you're not gonna have, I think it's the solar system that will take up the most, but I think for the plumbing, there's a chance we would want to have a water tank incorporated as well so that you can capture and store your own water. I have seen a lot of tiny houses, though, have the tank as a separate structure beside rather than within the tiny house. And I honestly don't think that that's a bad option. I guess it just depends on how mobile we want to say the tiny house is. Wood burns. Here we have young men that like to burn things. Houses too. Yeah, there is a... What is the term? Arsonist? Yeah, for solar plumbing, HVAC, and stuff like that, like, going off of the wood burning topic, I like having those things in it's called like a fire rated space where it's like kind of fireproofed. Because then if there's like an electrical fire or something, then it's outside or separate. And yes, there's a reason why things like building codes and stuff exist. There is a, what's it called? FRR. What's the acronym stand for? Fire resistance rating. There is a fire resistance rating applied to, like, I think any building material, whether that be wood, whether that be steel, whether that be gypsum wallboard, floor finishes, wall finishes, all of that stuff. There's requirements within the building code to, like, remain, like, within or above a certain fire resistance rating for your residential design. The thing about tiny house design that makes me nervous is that it is kind of an unregulated industry, I guess you'd call it. Like, tiny house builders, like, anybody can become a tiny house builder. Someone can build a tiny house. I don't even like wooden floors and cement concrete houses for this reason. It can burn. Yeah, like, engineered lumber is actually very, very, what's the word? Fire resistant. Fortunately. So there is some wood products that are less likely to have that issue. But again, anybody can be a tiny house builder. There's a lot of people that just, like, build a tiny house for themselves because they think, like, for their own residence, and then they think that they can do it for their career. It makes me nervous sometimes to think about, like, I would do a lot of research myself personally if I would want to pursue someone else to build my house for me. I would do a ton of research into who that builder is, how much experience they have, what are their background credentials. I'd like to see experience in, like, the regular housing industry before transitioning to the tiny house industry, just because, again, like, and same with the van design space, like any, like, van or RV building companies, I have a lot of weariness towards them for those reasons as well. But for that reason, I guess we'll say the system storage can go main floor, but like, main floor, let's just say main floor. Let's not overcomplicate it. We'll leave it that way. And then I guess, like, obviously the stairs with the ladder we don't need to know, but I just want to take a tally here because from everything that we've listed, we only have 2 items that can go in the loft. We can say our bedrooms can go in the lofts, or maybe a living room. But everything else has to be on the main floor. So, and I mean, we could think about this too. We'll do our tier 2 just in case. So if we get to incorporating any of these, then we have it. But our bedrooms for our guests can also go main floor or loft, I guess. Hold on, I have a water spot on my screen. Makers and crafters, was that the stream category name? This is that rather than art. Funny you bring that up because it kind of seems to be a toss-up back and forth between, so I've been paying attention to streamers that are in, I guess, like the design space, the architectural design, interior design. There's not many of us, by the way. There's really not, but the vast majority of them are actually using the art category, surprisingly. And I think it maybe has to do with the fact that we're not often building a real project. This is just fictitious. Surprisingly. Like that's, yeah, I found the art versus makers and crafting kind of tough. When I was doing my van design project, which is a real project that I actually have, I am building a camper van. I use the makers and crafting category for that. But yeah, it's kind of funny for like design streamers that are doing more of like, and there's a lot of like 3D artists like using Blender and stuff as well that also end up in the art category, even though it's not, yeah, it's not quite, it's not the same as traditional art. It's a little bit different. But software and development is also not really where I'd say we belong either, especially like when it gets to the 3D side, because we're not really programming or doing development of any kind. It is a creative endeavor. It's just using technology to do the creative thing. So it's kind of funny. I've been humming and hawing over this ever since I started streaming. I even asked Reddit and didn't really get much help from them either. Nobody really has a general consensus, so we've just kind of been doing whatever we want, which is fine. I jump around a lot though, just to see, I guess, what does well, and sometimes some more people hang out than others. Depends, I guess, on the day. I mean, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, do we end up in just chatting? Is that kind of what's happening here? I don't know, man. It's so tough. It's so tough. We'll just keep going. I'm not gonna think about it. Dedicated work from home space. This is another one that definitely I'd want on the main floor. I think it's important ergonomically to be able to sit at a desk properly with your back straight and like actually type and stuff. So we'll keep that there. Library can go either or. Outdoor space is a given, obviously. And okay, so again, looking back at this, we only have 2 spaces that we have determined can go in the loft of the tiny house. So if we're looking back at our options, there is a chance, so I'm worried a little bit, I guess, about space, I guess. Especially with having like a work from home space on the main floor for this first option. So we do kind of have 4 components that we're trying to get in a row here. We have the kitchen, living room, bathroom, and work from home. I think 4 spaces is generally what we are able to make work for all of them. But with that in mind, like, for example, there's nothing stopping us from making this kitchen a little bit more elaborate and then putting the living room on the second story. I saw a van life streamer, young woman on here. She did not check her oil on the van and did engine damage. Oh no! Was she IRL streaming? Was she traveling? Or was it, was she building it? Or fixing it? Oh, traveling. I've actually thought about doing that too, IRL streaming from van life for a bit. Or trying to do a 6-month road trip of North America in our van. And I think IRL streaming, especially remotely, is getting a lot easier with Starlink. I think Starlink, there's van lifers that are like gaming streamers that stream from their van via Starlink, which I think is pretty cool. I have some thoughts about supporting Tesla or Elon Musk, but it's it is what it is. So I mean, yeah, with this first option, nothing's stopping us from putting the living room upstairs and having, like, because when it comes to these two, the work from home full height matters more than the living space. The one thing that is nice when it comes to floor plan design though, especially thinking about it with the kitchen relationship in mind, I do generally like having the kitchen and the living room be kind of an open concept space where they both kind of flow in and out of one another. It's really nice when you're like hosting and you have guests over and stuff. If you're doing any work in the kitchen, they can hang in the living room, you guys can talk and stuff. Having a living room on the second story, I guess, in the loft would remove that option. But I don't know if that's a deal breaker necessarily, because if you're in a tiny house in the first place, you can really only fit so many people there anyways. And maybe we can talk about it with this kitchen design. If it's bigger, we can do more seating, like a island with some stools, or a countertop, or a table, even small table. I don't know, we'll play around with it. So for this option though, I did want to keep the living room on the main floor for sure, because I liked the idea of having this living room space on this 3 sides of the trailer here. We'll try this option where we keep it here. She seemed pretty smart though, but mental problems, strange ideas. Told that idea to a doctor and psychology streamer. She went to the van life stream to chat with her. Oh, interesting. How did that go? Oh, and then this one, I want to keep the living room on the main floor too, because we talked about doing some kind of work from home space that ties into the living room design. So we'll see. We'll see. So I think what I want to do really quick before we bring this into 3D, not much came out of it. Oh, the van lifer seemed honored. Aw, that's nice. Yeah, I haven't seen any van life streamers yet personally, but I also, I guess, haven't really been looking for them. I wonder how many there are. I can't imagine a ton, because I haven't really seen, like, sometimes I'll browse the Twitch categories and don't really see much, but I think what I want to do quick before we try bringing this into 3D, I'm gonna try and just sketch the walls over and her safety, parking in some lots. Van life is really scary if you're a woman by yourself, unfortunately. This is actually, like, I'm very fortunate because I'll have my partner and our dog with us. But I've watched a lot of female van lifers on YouTube, and it takes like a special kind of bravery to be comfortable doing that by yourself. I think I think especially if you're going like south to like different countries and like you don't have an animal with you. Like I think a lot of female van lifers end up doing it with dogs, which would help, I guess, with that. But yeah, it's like fortunately, I think van life is generally quite safe though. I think I've heard maybe one or two scary van life stories happening or happen, but I've heard a lot more stories of van life accidents, I guess, like accidentally crashing their vehicle or accidentally like having an electrical fire so that the interior burns down and stuff. And that personally scares me a lot more than other people do. I think. But yes, you can save a lot on rent though. And that is a response. Like van life is just another what's the word I'm looking for? A result of the socioeconomic environment that millennials and Gen Z are exposed to. Housing prices and rent are getting incredibly expensive. Inflation's insane. Even the tiny house movement as well is a response to lack of affordable housing for our generations. And because home ownership feels so unattainable, we're opting for alternative options that are attainable. Funnily enough, I guess, also sort of like the outcome, or like one of the things that we're learning with tiny house living is how happy we can be with less things. Like smaller housing is a result of our lack of socioeconomic opportunities generally, but learning to enjoy life with less stuff and more experience is a really nice outcome. And I think that it's something that the younger generations tend to value a lot more too, which is kind of cool. And I think that's why even you're seeing some job shortages we have right now in the service industry and stuff. I think the younger generations are starting to realize that they want to be a little bit more fulfilled with what they're doing in their work and their time and their lives, which is neat. It'll be interesting to see, I guess, how things transition in the next few years. Saw a homeless guy living in a car right after an attack, but he was drunk. Inside the car, his girlfriend sleeping in the car, and he did not know the rule of avoid strangers come. Friendly. Living in a car. I mean, at least he had a vehicle to live in instead of just being on the streets. That's more than a lot of other people have, to be honest. But I do want to draw some floor plans over these bubbles. So, forgive me, I'm gonna get a little bit concentrative and get going with this because I am on a time constraint. I have to be done hard stop in 2.5 hours. So, when we like set this document up, I'm gonna do our casework, our countertops and stuff in orange, and then I'll do all the walls and stuff in blue. All the interior partitions, I guess. Actually, I'll call it counter. No, casework. And then... Ooh. Okay. So... There's a reason why these plans, these bubble plans, are oriented the way they are, and it's because if you go to my last VOD from Friday, there's a strategy in tiny house design that allows you to stand up in the loft and get full height headroom, and it entails basically putting the standing height, or like the floor, where on the main level you don't need, how do I explain this? Like if we have cabinets along this wall on the main floor, then on the second story above here, this can be recessed a little bit lower, and then you can get full height standing room. So we're going to go forward with that design strategy. I liked it the best. And I think there's something nice about being able to stand up in a loft in a tiny house. I think we're trying to avoid making this space, although it's small, we don't want it to feel claustrophobic. So, one of these squares is 1 foot by 1 foot square. So with that in mind, countertops are always 2 feet deep. Hold on. And how long do we want this kitchen to be? 6, 8 feet maybe? Let's see what this Netza says. 2, 4, 8 here. Whoops. Now this work from home, we'll start thinking about how deep. Probably want that to be at least maybe 5 feet. What I envision with this is just like maybe like a linear work surface where we can put our desktops on either side. If you can have a window that you can stand by and open it to see outside. Ways if you were standing outside, that'd be much less claustrophobic. Yes, I agree with that. I like the idea. There's these like full accordion doors. They're like this. Hold on. These guys. I love these. This style is one. They like fold. So these are really cool. This is a really nice way, especially in the summer, to make your outdoor space kind of connect with your indoor space. I think they're really cool. Oh, why is this directing us to Alibaba though? So we'll talk about what that looks like or where that goes. That kind of planning though we'll get more in our like next design phase, design development. We'll focus still now on just the floor plan for now, but it is nice to think about, I guess, if we wanted to do like a really big accordion door opening or like really big windows, where we'd want that clearance to be. But for this work from home, so I kind of envision, yeah, having this like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foot deep room. Potentially. And then the bathroom, see, I'm trying to think of a good size for the bathroom to get away with. Because if we wanted to have laundry on the main floor, potentially clothing storage, and the actual, like, functional bathroom itself, we might want it to be a little bit bigger. 7 or 8 feet? Maybe 8 feet. This is gonna be quite large, but let's just see. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I always hit my boom arm with my Apple Pencil. It's the worst. I almost need like a counter or something for how often I do it. And then the stairs going up to the loft. I think we can maybe do that in 2 feet wide. How does that feel? One sec. That might be too small. I think maybe 2.5 feet is safer. Also want to note our overhead lines. So this might need to be. I need to be flush. The one thing that I'm seeing about this design that I don't know if I like is that there's an imbalance from where the staircase goes, where there is more I guess, rooms that you exist in on this side. And that would make our living room up here really large. I don't know if I like that very much. I mean, we can keep going. We can give it a shot, but like maybe I need to look at what the size of a what is the size of a washer and a dryer? How big are they usually? Oh. $686 is just over 2 feet. But there's probably, yeah, 27 inches wide and 32 deep. I'll almost do like a you'd want them here. Fun. I don't know what color to use, like for stuff. Sometimes I find bathrooms very... Oh, I didn't turn on my iPad, I'm sorry. Sometimes I find bathrooms difficult to design. I don't think I like this. I'm gonna scratch this and move to the next one. I don't like it. But that's kind of, I guess, the perk of like doing the schematic stuff, and this is why we do this really quickly. Then we can just kind of move on to the next one if it doesn't look like it's gonna work. I just don't like how much room there is over here versus where the living room or the bedroom, and the bedroom can't go on this side. If we do that sort of full height standing room strategy, this would be the bathroom. That means I'll have to do something else. So let's try this one instead. Actually, we might have the same problem with this here. I don't think the bathroom can go here. I think the bathroom has to go on an end. It has to go here. Let's try something instead. I'm not gonna scratch this. Let's try something different. So what if we did back here? And our washer and dryer in one of these to millwork. But then you have built-in clothing storage as well as a vanity. We did like a step down guy. Or this is like a full height closet, and then this is a little vanity sink. Change question mark? Actually, no, it can't go along the back because we need a full height spot at this part here. This 5 feet. Maybe we want it to be 6. A little bit more. This is a terrible door sketch. Like, maybe that'll work. And then this will be the shower here. And then I guess the toilet, it's kind of awkward, but it would probably just go like... Oh no, do we put it... Okay, hold on. I need to look up a thing really quick. I need to look up small bathroom configurations because it's gonna drive me nuts if we look at different options for like fitting everything. I find bathrooms really challenging to try and fit stuff in. for some reason. I think it would probably be best to do something like this. And the toilet goes here. Something like that. I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, I did it again, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about this work from home space that we want to incorporate in here. And I'm not quite sure, because my partner and I both work from home. Ideally, I'd like to try and fit 2 computers. But if we did it in here, so with the work from home space, we talked about wanting to have like a separation between work and regular life, being able to decompress, not staring at your like computer from your living space and then thinking about all the things that you should be doing. I have that problem personally with my work laptop if it's somewhere like in the living room or something. If I'm just trying to like hang out with friends, I'll look at my computer and be like, oh, here's all the things I have to do for work. And I find it a bit more challenging to detach. So the one thing that I don't really like about this design specifically is that it doesn't offer that. The work from home kind of desk area ends up being in the middle of the house, and in order to get enough space for 2 of us, 2 desktops, like you could combine this side and either move the stair down or you could literally have them split. I like this bathroom configuration. But I don't... Could we solve the work from home dilemma, potentially actually, by making the workspace sort of concealed in like a... I'm thinking of like a cabinet or something. Bear with me here. I'm brainstorming. Like this is a thing, right? Where you put your computer... Hold on. In like your desktop or something, in like... I don't even really like what I'm seeing here. We might have to go to Pinterest. What if we just look up concealed workspace and see? Yeah, this is kind of what I mean. Where it's almost like behind, like in a closet, I guess. Like it, and then the door's just shut and then you don't see it. Like this is kind of nice, having the sliding barn door. The only concern I guess I kind of have with this option is like chair storage, because you'd want it to be ergonomic, right? But does that mean we do something like... Okay, yeah, I have a brainstorm idea. What if we do something like this? I'll turn this back on. Okay. What if we do something like this? We take the staircase. We move it against the bathroom. Ooh, I had an idea. If we move the staircase here, that means that we can probably use this wall here for storage, and we can do more of like a free-floating vanity here, maybe. And then you can use like under the stairs to store things. Right? That's not bad. It's not bad. Potentially. And then if we do that, so that means that I would do casework pretty much this whole run. And then that means that, yeah, you'd have your kitchen on this side here. And then this would kind of just be like an open, when you shut your, I'd almost maybe do something like this though, where we have partitions that jet out a little bit so that we have enough space for the chair storage. But the nice thing, I guess, about if you did like a linear concealed workspace to work from home with, then you don't need, because we're trying to do that kind of like full height walking corridor in the loft. When you're working at a workspace, like it can be bumped down a little bit. So we can play around with this. This one actually might feel a little bit better in 3D than I'm thinking. So this will be our sink. We could even do something like this, because this is really long. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet. Let's say you probably only need, hold on, let me measure how big my workspace is now. The problem is that, like, my partner is a music producer, like an electronic music producer, so he would need quite a bit of space. Yeah, like right now his setup is 5 feet wide. Like the setup that we use here. The setup I could use for working on my own in the architecture field, and even with streaming actually could be quite a bit smaller. But I would still say maybe 8 feet. So it's not much, but it makes a difference, I think, in this kitchen situation here. We'll move this here. This is also a very long stretch of wall. Hold on, let's look at some of these, like, some of these concealed office spaces. I mean, there's an accordion door here. This is quite wide. These are just like pocket doors that open and then slide back into the wall. I think, I don't really like the look of the accordion door very much, but that might be our best option. Just for the small space that we have, because I don't think that we could do anything more elaborate than that. One sec, let me silence my phone. Okay. This one's not concealed. This is kind of cool. this is like a sliding door system, and then you have like a whole track here. That might be kind of annoying on the floor. If it was ceiling mounted, it might not be so bad, but I think it might be annoying in a small space. I guess we'll just say accordion door. We'll just say that. Potentially. We'll fuss out those details at a later time. So let's say, now we have all, look at how open this is here. This is tons of space. How much is this? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7 by 10. 7 feet by 10 feet. You could totally do even like a little kitchen table in here if you wanted. Trying to decide what color I want it to be. I guess we'll just go with pink. Oh wait, that's messy. I don't know how wide kitchen sinks usually are. And this can kind of be moved around. This is a lot of space though, wow. And just do light gray for furniture, I guess. Do like if that was the case, I'd want the door maybe to be a little bit more this way. Like here? I did a double door maybe? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to frickin' turn the iPad back on. I should just stop going into Pinterest. Oy. I'm just trying to think of like clearance around this table, if this would be annoying to have a table in the middle. Like we could even do like a round one. Chairs are bigger than that for sure, but this is one of those plans that I'm really curious about when we take into 3D and how it's gonna feel. I'm really curious about it. It might feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Squished? Perhaps? A little bit squished? Maybe. Okay, well, and if this is the main floor, then this is the upstairs. We talked in this plan about doing like a cozy living room situation in the upstairs. Something like that. Stairs, just noting where they're located, and then if we had a living room on the second story, it could probably just be like open. To below. But the bedroom is what I would want to have. And the nice thing too about this bedroom design is that it can literally be as big as we want. So we'll do this whole back wall here. Storage. Cabinets. And then how big do we want our actual room extends to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is 10 feet deep too deep? What are the dimensions of a king size bed? We talked about putting a king size bed in here. How big would that be? Oh? Something like this? I think it'd be kind of cozy, and then you could do some kind of like really low like lounge seating. I do think, based on this bathroom design though, we might want the living room to kind of step up. Which is okay. You can even do like a couple steps. Just for ergonomics sake. And then how we'd note this, I guess, in the design world. Actually, let's do a thinner line though. This is quite dark. In the design world, we'd note this with a X like this, and then just some text that says open. So that you know that it's open to below. So this isn't bad. Okay, this one was kind of saved. This was way different than what we had originally sketched though in our bubble plan for how this design was gonna work. So this is probably a good candidate for option 1. I don't necessarily know upon first glance if it's my favorite, just because of how open it is on the main floor at that one area that we put the table. I don't know about it, but we'll see how it translates in 3D, and let's kind of elaborate on another one of these floors. I'm gonna run to the washroom quick though, I'll be right back. Okay. Is it this one that we were gonna, or was it? Yeah, it's this one. Okay. Yeah, it was the kitchen and then the living room situation, and I am wondering. I'm wondering how we're gonna make this work with the, like, is there a way that we can make this style of bathroom work? Maybe. Okay, let's just try. Let's just try. Let me look up what the average dimensions of a sofa are. I promise I'll turn on my iPad again this time. I promise. Like if we want like a little sectional situation, maybe I should look up sectional. Or yeah, something like this. This would be 126, 127 inches by 64 inches. How many feet is that? Ten and a half feet. That's huge. That's a lot. Is that standard? I mean, this is a 3-seat wide. I guess you could get like a tiny little sofa with the one, like, yeah, like this guy in the middle. Oh, this is so small. Little L, small sectional, small sofa. I mean, we could just like take the dimensions or like the width of a dual seater and then add the ottoman or like footrest on one. I like those a lot. I think they're way comfier than just a linear sofa on their own. So this would be 91 inches. What's this? 7.5 feet. Okay, 7.5 feet feels a lot more manageable to me. So if we have that in mind and we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means let's just call this. So that means like here, give or take. Again, we want our stairs. I don't know how far down they'll go, but again, this is a 3-foot pass from where the door opens to where like the kitchen on the left and then the living room on the right side is. So we'll just keep that. So we'll do up. Hold on, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's only 6 feet. So I was gonna say, what if we did like a... I mean, we could still do some kind of like custom sofa arrangement, which could be kind of cute if you did like a sectional that went like this. Because there's gonna be a bulkhead above here. So it might be kind of nice to have where you're actually like sitting at the sofa be lower over there. This might be tight though. You might as well just carry this all the way across, I guess. And then do some kind of like console TV situation. How deep would that be? That wouldn't have to be the full 2 foot. That'd probably be 18 inches deep for like a TV Credenza, that's the word I'm looking for. Nah. I'll show it as a foot, actually. We'll say that this is the living room. And then we could do some nice windows over here too. Side. That might be nice when we get to fleshing out some of those more finer details. Okay, so now we're gonna do our kitchen. And I'm just trying to envision what kind of kitchen we'd even have here. Probably kind of, like, it could be like one of those two-sided ones. Well, let's just see here. Okay, so this is our 2-foot depth, and then this is 4.5 feet long, 6.5 feet. Let's do 7. I'm wondering about making one of them, like, doing an L shape, maybe? I don't like linear kitchens. I find them uncomfortable to work in. I used to have a linear kitchen in one of the places I lived, and I was not a big fan. Something like this. And then I guess you could maybe, it would be really shallow, like, could do like a eating bar here. Maybe, but it might feel a little bit intrusive. Would an island work? I'm pretty sure you need a 3-foot clearance around an island, but in a tiny space, could you get away with 2.5? Which would be about here. Maybe instead of having it in an island, it just goes right up to the bathroom wall and does something like this. And then the bathroom wall goes like this. And then over to like here. Like that? Something like that? That means our kitchen will go here. I think this stream ended up being a little bit cozier than I thought, but it really takes a bit, like, it honestly takes more concentration for me to sketch this out than it does for me to model it in 3D. Like, when I'm modeling in 3D, I can actually, like, kind of narrate what I'm doing out loud. Oh, DJ Rocha? Hello, welcome to the stream. How's your Friday going? Like, this could work. The cool thing about the work from home space, because it's like separated on one side of the house here too, is it doesn't even really need a door then. You're also an architect? Really? Where do you practice? Are you in North America as well? I'm not an architect, I'm actually an architectural technologist. So I focus primarily more on modeling stuff in 3D, coordinating our 3D model among the team, among consultants. I do a lot of construction drawings. Mozambique? Oh my god, I don't even know where that is. Okay, I'm Googling that one sec before we continue. Oh, East Africa? Cool, that's super cool. What kind of architecture do you do? Oh, sorry for hitting my boom arm. Yeah, I'll get rid of this whole text here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 7 is like still kind of small for a bathroom. But like if we have this, well, okay, we did talk about, like I said, we can make this bigger. We can design this one for a longer trailer if we decide that we want to try and make it work. Residential. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't do residential. I do only commercial. So hence why I'm doing residential on stream, because I like it a lot. I'm from Western Canada, so I don't really like to share what city I'm from, but I'm sure it'll become apparent one day. This way, maybe, for door swing? Do you do like detached single family homes, or do you do a lot of like high density residential, like apartment buildings and stuff? I mean, I think we could probably get away with this work from home. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just trying. Oh, private residential. Is it like custom housing? I think custom housing is probably the most fun. You get the most interesting projects, I think. I'm just trying to look back at some of my... We googled small bathroom configurations, and I need to look at that again. Just for some ideas, because we have like a 6-foot by... Yes, custom. I'd love to dabble in custom for a little while. The problem is that it doesn't pay as good as commercial does, unfortunately. Oh, thank you for your Instagram. I'll look after stream. I love when there's more of us. Like I've met a few industry professionals that are architects or interior designers from streaming, and it's always really exciting. Because there isn't a lot of us on Twitch. Not many architects or designers stream, unfortunately. And I wish more of us did, because it's really interesting. There's a I found a landscape architect that started streaming Land Arc 3D, and I know nothing about landscape architecture. It's a completely foreign concept to me, whole different world, and so it's really, really neat to see what that workflow looks like. I am very fortunate with like how my job works because I'm doing so much 3D modeling. It's kind of like drawing, I'd say. Like I can watch a lot of streamers. I watch a lot of streaming while I'm working because it can just go off on the side, and I can like do my working drawings. I can model my whatever I have to 3D model, and so I'm always trying to to find more architects and interior designers that are 3D modeling. I'm just trying to decide. I mean, the problem with this bathroom is that because it's a tiny house that we're trying to design, we talked about putting the laundry, the washer and dryer in the bathroom too. And I'm not convinced that this is a big enough bathroom to do that. What are the dimensions of a standard tub? Is it 5 feet? Are they 5 feet long? 5 feet by like 2.5 or something? And they might vary a little bit too. "66 inches, I think." Yeah, 66 inches seems to be standard. I forget. Oh, I guess inches to feet. I work mostly in the metric system, so sometimes I don't know off the top of my head. Like 66 inches, oh yeah, 5.5 feet. Okay. So we want to reserve 5.5 feet for our shower, which I guess would kind of be something like, or maybe this is 5. This is 6.5 feet. This is the second floor plan we've tried to make work with a design like this with the bathroom, and I just don't think it works. I really don't. I mean, we can get rid of this work from home option. How big is a step-in shower? See, these are things that I don't know off the top of my head because I don't do residential design. Walk-in shower dimensions? Like the minimum standard, I guess. This is so small, I can't even see. These numbers are not visible. 42 inches wide by 6 feet. See, I don't know this math. 3.5 feet by 6 feet? What if we did like 4 feet by 5 feet? Try 4 feet by 5 feet. What I'm thinking of doing is something like this, where we do like, oh no, I'm seeing a problem with this though. I don't think this is gonna work. If we want the loft situation, if we want that to work, I think the bathroom honestly has to go on the end. I mean, I can try my best, but I think, yeah, okay, so I think we're learning that if we want the standing height in the loft, that we really need to put the bathroom on the end. Okay, noted. So how do we make this work then? One, two, 4, 5, 6, 9. I have this vision, but I don't know if we'll like it. I have this vision of doing something like this, where we build, so how we talked about in this other design, doing the workstations to work from home hidden, concealed behind like some closet doors or something, so it tucks out of the way. What if you do something like that with here, but you do it this way? You need to make sure you have enough clearance here though. This skews my not straight lines. And then you do like build it in here. And then you have a lot of real estate for the bathroom on this end. But we need the, there's a bulkhead above here. I need to almost like note that it's here so that I stop forgetting that it's here. This bulkhead is really a bitch. Okay, let's do this. That won't work. I mean, is it weird to work from home in your kitchen? Because you could. I don't really like this. I don't really like this. I don't think... Okay, well, let's take some size back from the kitchen. I mean, we pretty much have to do, like, casework the whole way down anyways. To make this standing height loft work. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of what is coming out of this. I'm just spitballing at this point. I don't know how this feels though, if we did like a really long bathroom. And then like I'm envisioning the kitchen kind of stopping here. And then doing the kind of workstations here. We're not getting any laundry in this design though. This kind of sucks. Again though, like this is why we're doing this. I'll test it in 3D. We'll see how it works. But I'm not I'm not super optimistic. I mean, because this is so long. Well, this is only 4 feet. Like it's not even really that long. Do this maybe for a shower. Oh boy. This is so small. Let's go back to our tiny bathroom configurations. Where'd they go? Here? Let's go back. Is there any that are 4 feet? I mean, this is 5. Is 4 feet like way too small for a bathroom? This is 6 feet. I just can't help but feel like this is tiny. 5 feet, 5'4", 5 foot, 5 foot. Okay. I think it's not gonna work. But I'm curious about it in 3D. So we'll just like, I don't know, we'll fuss around with it. Let's say that we do like a barn door, like a sliding door situation to get into here to save some space. Because I think like because it's tucked out of the way of the kitchen, generally I don't like to put barn doors on bathrooms just because they're not very, they don't control the noise very well. But because a tiny house, I feel like in a tiny house it's a little bit different. You're not likely to have a lot of company over, but even if you did have company over, this bathroom, like how you navigate to get into it, you'd have to go like all the way around this way. And that I think is oriented in such a way that it's still a little bit more private even with the barn door. So I think that that's okay. I think that that's okay. I'm not a huge fan of the utilization of space in this one, I guess, because now, like, obviously we will have our bedroom up here. But I'm not quite sure what we do with this extra loft on this side. We could say it's just like a hobby loft, for example. Like, I don't know, if you took up some kind of like hand art local hobby of some kind, maybe you could do that in the loft, but it's a little bit limiting. It is kind of limiting. What you could do though, we'll play around with it. We'll play around with it. I don't know how I feel about this option very much, just because of the bathroom. But I do know that you can buy tiny house trailers that can be up to 10 feet wide, which I think is getting into the territory of needing a professional towing company, and you might need to be considered an oversized load, which I think requires like signage and flashing lights and stuff. And so like that's how mobile homes or trailer homes get transported in North America. We're trying to avoid that if we can. But I kind of want to, yeah, I kind of want to test this stuff in 3D. I don't know. Well, that's that one. This is the last one. Okay. I'm actually kind of optimistic about this one. Believe it or not. I think maybe it's just because the bathroom is already on one side. We'll just erase some of these circles quick. Okay. Like, it'll be fine. As long as yeah, maybe the strategy with tiny house design is that you like work backwards from the essential full-size things that you want. Like let's say for example that we'll do a recessed shower kind of on this wall here. Here. If we want it to be like, okay, I do need to get rid of this one. If we want a recessed shower or like a big walk-in shower to be 4 feet by 3 feet, well, let's just block this out so that we ensure that it is accounted for. And then let's just say that we do want our partitions then to go like this. And something like that. Oh, didn't mean to curve that. There we go. You do something like that, and then because we're gonna have again this bulkhead above to make this standing height loft thing work like this. Oh boy. Okay, it's generally not good practice from a bathroom design to put the toilet in a position that if somebody accidentally walks in on you, they'll see you right away. But because of how this door swing is opening, I think the door swing will kind of conceal anyone in there. So I'm actually gonna try putting it here. And then let's do some custom casework stuff. Let's say we have, because a closet is not, I don't think a closet for clothes is quite actually maybe it is 2 feet deep. Checking. Oh, it is 2 feet deep for a closet. Okay, well I guess we'll just do this. The only hesitancy that I have though is that if there is a bulkhead overhead, I don't like the idea of putting the sink where that is too much, because I feel like if you were leaning forward to wash your face or something, you might bonk your head on the bulkhead. I feel like it might be cumbersome. And we did talk about wanting a stacked washer dryer. I don't know what this clearance will be. Hold on. We need to make sure that this is a comfortable dimension. And I don't like this relationship. We saw this relationship in another tiny house, and I just don't really like how that feels very much. But if it's a vanity and not a cooking counter, what's stopping us from doing it at 18 inches instead? Is that weird? Making it a little bit shallower? And then we could like do it right up to here. We'll do like a concealed shower glass or something. And then this goes here. Here. Oh. This will be the washer dryer here. Wait, no, it can't go here. Oh, maybe it can. No, it can't. I don't know, we'll play around with it in 3D, I guess, and see how this goes. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've seen. Now for the kitchen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try this. I'm wondering, here, I'm gonna just, small kitchen configurations. I'm wondering if you do like a C-shaped kitchen, what you want to look at. Yeah, like, you do a C-shaped kitchen kind of like this one on the bottom left. How big do you need this kind of square space on the inside to be comfortable? Especially with 2 people. What do you want that to be? I mean, we could bump it out just another foot, just in case. We want to make sure that we have enough comfort. What if we did something like this? And then this. That. And then we need space for the stairs. So we could try here maybe again. And then it'll end here. And this is quite a lot of space here for the living room. Can we kind of do some kind of... Yeah, if we do our like work from home situation all along here. And then you can like wall it off at the end of the night, then you can kind of do the sofa. Go. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is quite large. We could even say, let's just say the sofa goes even over a little bit more. Go like this. Then yeah, we could do like a projector or like a wood burning, like a, what am I thinking of? A log stove, like a log heater? Fire, what's the word I'm looking for? A wood burning stove. Or like a wood burning heater could be maybe here. That could be kind of a cute vibe. Then you get like the little fireplace at nighttime and stuff. And I think the one thing I'm realizing between all of these three options is that they all have similar upstairs configurations. So I don't necessarily think it's worth it to look at the upstairs of all of these designs too meticulously. What if we just take this into 3D and we will do each of these as design options and we'll see how they feel in plan. I did download Twinmotion. I finally got it downloaded. Okay, they did not, I have struggled with trying to download Twinmotion for like a month. And then I realized it's because, and I didn't see the fine print, that the version of Twinmotion I was downloading was incompatible with the version of Revit that I have, which was a little bit frustrating because it was kind of in this like really low-key, not very obvious positioning, unfortunately. So that was strange. But yeah, let's take these into 3D and we're gonna be able to kind of bump them around and modify them as we need. The fun part, I might start quickly with modeling our stairs because that tends to take the longest. Modeling stairs sucks. And so I'm gonna try and see if I can get Revit to do the stairs automatically, but I think there's a chance that I might just have to model it really quickly, doing some like side profiles of the risers and the runs. I might just have to do it in like a custom model that I build myself from scratch, depending on things. So let's move on to that then. I'm excited. I have my 3D model here. I'm gonna change my categories because now we are getting into 3D modeling, and interestingly enough, the 3D modeling category does really well. 3D modeling. Get rid of this one. 3D modeling, and I'll add Revit as well. Maybe AutoCAD. It's not AutoCAD though. Actually, no, let's get rid of AutoCAD. Okay, we'll update this. I'm gonna run to the washroom again and we'll dive into this. I'm so curious. Well, modify what we started last time, so I will be right back. One moment. All right, hello, hello. I don't think I'm gonna be sharing my iPad anymore today. We are gonna just hop right into 3D. And we're back. We want to work in, this is probably not as nice to work in. Okay, we'll continue with the black and the white. So last time, and we did set up 3 design options last time. Okay, I'm in 3D now, so I'll be a little bit more chatty as we go. We did set up 3 design options. We have option 1, option 2, option 3. And we can keep adding more options if we want to like test variations of things. We can duplicate things. It's pretty easy. We did preemptively last stream kind of start setting some stuff up because I jumped the gun and I got really excited and I was like, I want to know what this looks like. And then I realized that it's not gonna work very well. A couple things we also did too is we created a wall type assembly for the exterior envelope of our tiny house, and we also created an interior wall assembly. So with the actual thicknesses that we will probably be moving forward with, the interior one I'm a little bit worried about because it's very, very thin. It's 80 millimeters. How many inches is that? This is not 8 inches measuring tape. I have one that has both somewhere. It's just over 3 inches, I think. I think it's like 3 1/4, 3 1/2 inches or something. 75 millimeters is 3 inches. So I don't necessarily know if this is going to be exactly what we want, but I did actually. This is with a 2x4 and 1/2 inch gypsum wallboard. Okay, so this is accurate. So we'll move forward with this. Okay. Let's just delete everything because this is not gonna work. I also should try and I wonder if we can load in a barn door. Let me see if Autodesk has a barn door to import, because I definitely haven't made one myself personally. And it would be in residential. All results. Yeah, no, they don't have one. So if we wanted a barn door, we're gonna have to make one. On my Tuesday streams, I have been building a library slowly, so I'm hoping then we can do a barn door. So let's start building this one as per what we have sketched here. So we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna do center line here. So this we had at, let me count, 8. And then this I know we're gonna want to be 3 feet. That leaves us at 4.5, which is a really nice size for a walk-in shower. I'm gonna bring in a door that is a little bit smaller, probably 64 maybe? No, that's too large still. 762 seems even kind of small to me. Something like this? And then we talked about doing the stairs, so let's do that really quick now that I know where they're gonna go. They're gonna go right up against here. Stairs are kind of a bitch. They're kind of a bitch. Might rename this. Okay, we need to set up our levels properly because I think we need a... This is as high as it can be. No, let's just, I guess, say that these all go... The exterior partitions should all go up there. So this will carry up to the top of the roof. Okay. This door is too tall. This is 7 feet. I guess we want the shorter one. 2032. I'll just bump it down. There. Okay. So let's make a new view. Should we have one here? Top of loft floor. Perfect. Okay. Let's do a floor. We're gonna have, I guess, 2 floors happening. So we're gonna have this first one, which, I don't even know how they make loft framing. I don't know how thick they make the 2x4s that go across, or the studs. Joists?
This one's from the heart. Yeah. She said she heard music. Now I got a girl, but does she really have my back? If I fell into depression, would she even understand, or would you run like the rest of them, or would you cheat?
Is 2x4s enough, or do we need 2x6s? That changes how thick it is, which changes the height of our roof that we have from the first to the second floor. We could, actually this might even be the safest, we could talk about doing metal framing. Actually, metal framing is probably what we want to do. It's way lighter. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're doing this for sure, Which means we can do this as 2x4. We'll create a family, or like a floor. Loft floor assembly. So we're gonna say that it'll be metal stud sizes. I think it'll be 4 inches. Okay, 4 inches. I can't remember if, because when you are trying to work with wood, conventional framing, a 2x4 is not actually, oh, 1 sec, be right back. Oh my god. Unexpected household returners. Okay. So. Okay, when you're working with conventional wood, like 2x4s, for example, they're not actually 2 inches by 4 inches. It's like 1.5 or 1.75 inches by 3.5 inches or something like that. It's slightly off. But I don't know if metal is different. It must be slightly so. 3.5. Yeah, let's just, okay. So we're gonna say below is gonna be gypsum. We'll do 1/2" gypsum below, and then above we're gonna have sheathing. And that'll be 19 mil sheathing, and then you'll do the floor on top. Whatever the thickness of the floor is for there. I'm actually going to insert a very slight thickness of 6 millimeters to account for the floor finish thickness, just because I like to be a perfectionist like that. So I think, yeah, this is our floor assembly. Okay, so if I place this here, we're gonna say here. And now if we go into 3D, check that out. Okay, so we do want these to attach though. Oops. Okay. I'm just gonna do a section cut through too, just so that we know. I just want to measure some things. I'm curious about our head height in here. This is 6'7". I don't know how I feel about that. That should be fine. Should be okay. We're gonna have a thickness for the roof here too, but let's bring this this door down. I'm pretty sure tiny house doors are pretty much always custom. They have such unconventional sizing for things. Okay, now what I want to do is create this step down. Oh, if they do it at 2 feet, a little bit bigger. Okay, so if we go into do a section this way too. All right. Oops. Okay. So we want to make sure that there is enough space. I don't know what the thickness of the roof will be, so we're just gonna have to think about that, but we want to make sure that this will have enough space for walking. I don't know why that happened. Okay. I want this to maybe be 6 feet. We'll see that we have this step down from this upstairs living room of like 1.25 feet, which actually isn't terrible. If we go into 3D, yeah, you see it here. So let's go from top of the loft view. Let's see. Ooh. This is not a lot of space for the stairs to run. Oh, let's see how this goes. Stair. Okay. They're all set. So from base level, from main floor to... Actually, we need to make... Hold on. We actually should make another level quick so that we can snap our stairs to it. That is going to be called top of corridor floor, maybe? All right. So these stairs are going to be a little fussy. Brace yourself. I have such a hard time with stairs. But we can edit some things. We can do the maximum riser height. Let's do it at like a foot, which is crazy. Run width, let's do it at 2.25 feet, 2'3", and then tread depth minimum. Where's my measuring tape? I'm thinking about this. I don't think you'd want it to go any smaller than this 9 inches, so. Okay, let's try this. Let's try. Actually, really? Oh. That's why, 1 sec. Whoop. Jeez. Okay. Second time is a charm. This is 6 risers. It's not terrible. I don't know what that sound is. It's making me a little bit paranoid because I actually work almost exclusively off of my external hard drive for all my content stuff. And I'm a little bit nervous about something happening with my stream. This is not a lot of space. 1'5". What if we do a little L shape? Hold on. Stairs are so fussy. Not a fan. Oh, I think it's coming in very large too. Okay, 3 risers, 3 remaining. This way. Is this better? This is still very small. $1'7". Oops. This is really, really squished. Really squished. Let's try, I'm gonna move my section back and just see. Why can't I select this though? Oh, that's why. Let's try. I want to check if it's actually going to be a full foot riser. No, see, it's 11.25. See, it brought in this ugly railing. Hi, don't like stairs. Stairs are so hard. Okay, well, we don't need the railings for now. Let's just delete those. I think this landing takes up just as much space as the stairs do that go this way. So what if we just... and then... Okay, let's play around with some setting. But apply. Calculation rules for target slope. I think I'm just gonna model some from scratch really quick. I don't like stairs. Oi, oi, oi. I'd rather maybe how tall would this be? Maybe an extra 5 inches. I did something like this. Move this back to be flush here. Then, how much does this stick out? 2'6". Perfect. Amazing. Okay, we're gonna just have like a big, tall. This is 1'7". Like that's pretty high. Stairs are kind of weird. Honestly, I'm gonna be straight with you. The only thing I'm really thinking about here with this is my dog. I just want to make sure that he can climb the stairs. I want to make sure that he is able to maneuver it and won't struggle. And I'm not convinced with the dimensions and how these stairs are. I'm not convinced he'll be able to be okay doing that. I'm not sure. Like, if that's the case, it almost might be better to just, like, move everything up an inch, maybe? I don't know. (1'6", 1.5 feet. Hold on. I'm checking. I mean, he's a Burmese mountain dog crossed with a golden retriever, and his favorite thing ever when we go hiking is scrambling. So if we just carpeted the stair, I think he'd be fine. I really do. He's obsessed with scrambling. It's like kind of a problem because I worry about, like, I don't know, dogs can hurt themselves, right? There we go. Okay, let's just keep it like this. All right. Hey, we got some stairs. Oh my gosh. I don't know what keeps toggling. It's okay. All right, I'm going to this here. Okay. Where did my door go? We had a door on here, right? Oh, can we just not see it because we're not on the main floor? Yeah, okay, that's why. Okay, let's carry on with what else we're gonna do here. So we're gonna do, I guess, kind of like a partition that goes under here. Now, if I go into this view, you'll see that this partition is square. Let's just do this really. Now this is blocked off. Now, the one thing we can play around with is how far this goes. Let's do this for a second. Okay. This guy. How far down did we make this? One sec, let me count. We did this at 10 feet, so let's how much does that leave here? 6.5 feet. Not a lot. I'd rather try and maintain closer to 8 feet, maybe? Something like that. And then if we go to our... no, I don't. Let's just model a countertop now, which you'd work on this with. It would be 30 inches high, because that is what seating height is for a desk. And then I'll say it's like 2 inches thick. Like this. That. And then if we go back to sure that we have a wall. Dividing these okay. Is that kind of weird? Maybe. I don't know what keeps plugging and unplugging on my computer. If you guys can hear the alerts, I'm not sure what that is. It's kind of driving me crazy. It keeps happening. I'm not sure what it is. All right. So we have our kind of kitchen design here. We're not gonna rough in too much. We could potentially do a longer counter on this end. I'm more curious about if we're gonna be able to fit a table in here nice and have it feel like it flows okay. Let's put in a toilet. And then we'll do a small vanity. I wonder if I can insert one. Autodesk has a vanity that we can just throw in. On my Tuesday streams, we're building a bunch of casework. A bunch of millwork. Here, let's just try this one for now. Autodesk families are kind of questionable, but they're nice placeholders. There we go. I actually am not so sure about this dimension. 1'10". Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Let's do this. Just to denote our walk-in shower here. Kind of technically be like a drain, floor drain. Oops. I just got hit with the largest wave of no, stop. What is the distance that you need from a toilet to a vanity? What is the clearance? (15 + 15, 30 inches, 30. There we go, about here. And then this would be centered in the middle. Cool. Okay. And then we did talk about doing like a washer dryer under the stairs. Let's see how that fits. Just try an arbitrary. All of the Autodesk models are ugly. They're all very ugly, and when we get to design development and we want to pick the finishes, we can make it a lot prettier. I don't know which way is the front. It's this way. Problem is that it is tall. Maybe we don't do a stacked one. Maybe we do a combo one. Combo ones aren't very good though. I'll just, oh, here they have a combo. Washer dryer combo. Sure. Means that I think this can be a little bit longer too if we wanted. Change the width of our vanity. Let's make it a little bit bigger so we have a little bit more space to work with. I mean, it's not terrible. We have everything that we need in here. We got all of the asks. So we have a chair. Ask chair. This is kind of weird though. All right, let's finish this loft situation. It's hard with a tiny house because it's so squished. Like, in order to fit a fridge under here, or this bulkhead, it can only be a certain height. We'll have to look for a shorter fridge. It can only be 5 foot tall. Do 5 foot tall fridges exist? They must. Yeah, they do. Okay. So we'll bring that in then. We'll say it works. Let's insert a fridge. Wait, this is a freezer, not a fridge? Whoops. Oh yeah, it says freezer stainless steel. Whoops, that's my bad. We want a French door over and under. I like French door refrigerators. I just don't know if we can get away with like the freezer on the bottom if it's a 5 foot tall fridge. Let's just do, I guess, one of these basic ones. I think that Twinmotion has some really nice fridge designs too that we can do instead of this, which would be kind of cool. This is really shallow too. All right, let's edit this, and it's gotta be 5 foot tall. And we do want it to be the other way. And this hall back here would be full height millwork. We'll load in a sink and a stove, and then that's kind of it, I think, for this design option. Oh, look at how small it is. It's weird and small. Small and weird. Aww. Funny. Check. What are we getting for this clearance again? Wait, this one. 6'6". I guess that's okay. Tiny houses are so intricate though, they're kind of funny to design. This is like, so simple, I guess, is the word I want to use for this. Okay. Let's try and place a stove and a sink. Oh, this is huge. You know what though? I'm not mad about it. My partner and I are obsessed with cooking. I mean, it did say 36 inches though, which is 3 feet wide. That is kind of crazy. I mean, even if we just don't have that one burner on the end. This one's 30 inches, 36. What else we got? 48. Damn. Is there any that are just like, I mean, do this one maybe? Top gas, 30 inch. Let's do the 30. The 30 instead. Just a little bit more. Yeah, this is a little bit more, more practical. We realistically, I guess, just don't need as much space as that was taking up. Okay, and then a sink. Insert sink. I'm not a big fan of Autodesk sinks either. They're kind of finicky, but we'll just, again, these are all placeholders and we'll flesh this out and make it all prettier at a different time. I don't know if we have enough space for a table though. Like, this is only 5'9". We do. Not sure. I don't know if I like it, guys. I'm not sure. I don't know, it's just, it's very open but very squished at the same time. It's not really, I don't know. No. Hmm. Okay, well... Actually, I guess we should go to doors. Sliding doors. I'm just picking an arbitrary one. This conflicts with the stair. This is weird. I don't know, man. Like, I kind of want to just finish it just to say that we've tried it, but I don't think it's working. This is just kind of a weird little, I don't know. In Sketch, when we sketched this, it looked nicer, but now that I'm seeing it in Plan, like if we... I don't think we should keep pursuing this option. I think it's just kind of squished. It's squished. I wonder, I mean, I could play with the option of raising the ceiling height a little bit too. Look at how tiny this little fridge is. It's so cute and small. Oh, tiny houses are so squish. What are we saying? Like, I just kind of think the work from home station that we're trying to make work here on this main floor is just kind of ruining it. Like, it does just make sense to get rid of this entirely and then make it a living space, but then we are literally... This is the exact same layout as the tiny house tour that we watched last time. It's like the same. There's nothing else, nothing different. And I don't really like that. I don't know, I like trying to figure out new ways of doing things, so I don't know. I guess let's just move over to option 2 and see if it's any better. This one was the weird one though, like this one was the one that had the really skinny long bathroom, and I don't know how well that one's gonna go over either, but I guess we can try. And again, at this point, this is just schematic design, so we're just focusing on how everything fits together in plan view. We're not worrying too much about what the like elevations of things look like. But let me just place really quick in this loft space. Like we were talking about, well, okay, I guess we do in this sketch that we did have the living room area on the second side of the loft. I mean, we could bring this back, I guess. Like, could we... I'm just trying to think of a different way to reimagine this that might be a little bit more interesting. I mean, I think the doors would have to go here, though. I guess this is how it is. Which means the living room is in the loft here. Yeah, let me get rid of my underlay so we don't get confused. And we talked about having this open to below. And I don't necessarily think I don't think we're gonna find in any of the Autodesk families. Let me just check. I don't think we're gonna find any kind of like low beanbag seating or anything. I don't think there's gonna be any furniture actually that'll work in the loft from the Autodesk family arsenal, because it's all meant for regular houses. This is not a regular house, this is a tiny house. So what do we do here? I guess we just will model some stuff in place really quickly. Actually, I wonder, we might be able to bring in one of the families from the band that we modeled, because I know I had some cushion families. Do I have? No. Okay, we'll just model. What are the dimensions of a king bed? Really quickly. I'm not sure off the top of my head. This might not even be big enough. I'll check. Because we noted in our what we want from this tiny house, one of the asks was to try and make a king bed work. But yeah, it's 6'4" by 6'8". Okay, let's try this. 6'4" by 6'8". Okay. Oh, that's definitely not what we want. Okay, well, this is the size of a, okay, well, what's a queen? "60 inches wide and 80 inches long." Okay, let's try that. Okay. I mean, this is better. It's still like, wow, it's like barely fits, which means, oh, this is only 8 feet. Let's take it to 10. Now we need to account for the wall thickness here, so we'll do a wall quick. And if we go into 3D, a wall. Oh. Then we wanted this one open. The other thing we can do if we go to the top of the loft floor, I'm trying to think, I know, I guess it depends on how long the trailer is. I know there was some designs with this really cool step down loft situation where you could stand over here too. This must be thinner than it is. This must be like 2 feet. it's already 5:50. I have to go in a second here. Gotta go dig down some fence. Demolish a whole backyard fence. Hold on, wait, so that afforded us a little bit of space. It makes this a little bit nicer too. Go into the loft again. I mean, this can honestly keep going over, but okay, I think what I want to do, I think if we're gonna start doing some stuff in 3D, I want some nice families that will work for what we're doing. So we're gonna need a mattress family for the bed that we can do in a few different sizes. I want some like lounge kind of beanbag seating or something that can go either on the main floor or in the loft. So I think I want to do some like beefing up of some families and stuff before we continue further. I guess this is option 1. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm really not. But again, this work from home space really kind of throws a wrench in the plans for what we have here, unfortunately. So I think, and this is also very small. I think we might have to play with the idea of widening the trailer a little bit, I think, in order to get some of the clearances that we want on the width-wise. So I'll do some research into that as well. I think I might call it here. I have to go. 5 minutes. Hard stop. So let's just say we're done option 1. Next time I'm live, next Friday, we'll do options 2 and 3 in 3D. And I guess I'll see you then. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'm gonna go build a fence. Well, I'm gonna go rip down a fence and then build a new fence. Have a good long weekend, everyone. Thank you so much, and see you soon.